The colors that disappeared. In a small village named Rainbow Town, children woke up to a shocking sight. The trees were no longer green, the sky wasn't blue, and even flowers had turned gray. Lena, a curious little girl, gasped, "Where have all the colors gone?" Her best friends were shocked too. Ayan loved drawing pictures. Rita loved music. Omar loved solving riddles. Without colors, their games, paintings, and gardens lost all joy. The children decided to find out what happened. On the way, they met magical animal friends. Firo the fox, clever and quick. Orin the owl, wise, loved stars. Pico the parrot, colorful but fading away too. Pico whispered sadly, "The color thief has stolen the rainbow and hidden it deep in the Valley of Shadows." The team journeyed through a dark forest where shadows whispered lies. "Go back. You can't do it." But Omar solved the riddle. Shadows can't hurt us. They vanish when light comes. A mountain where rocks blocked the way. Firo, the fox, cleverly led them through secret tunnels. A river that looked black and endless. Rita sang a song, and her voice made the water glow so they could cross safely. Finally, they reached the Valley of Shadows. There stood a tall, mysterious figure with a black cloak. He held a crystal box filled with trapped colors. Red, blue, green, yellow, purple, orange. The thief hissed, "I took the colors because people fought over them." Painters argued about the best shade. Children laughed at each other's clothes. I wanted to end the fighting. The children were shocked. The thief challenged them. "If you can prove that colors are for sharing and not fighting, I will return them." Each child and animal showed their gift. Ayan drew a picture with only gray and said, "Without colors, art has no life." Rita sang, "Without colors, even music feels sad." Omar solved a puzzle using numbers and said, "Every color has its place, like numbers in a sum." Orin the owl explained, "Colors guide us in the night sky, like stars." Firo the fox said, "Colors help us hide and survive." Pico the parrot cried, "Colors bring joy and beauty." Together, they shouted, "Colors are not for fighting, they are for everyone." The thief slowly opened the crystal box. With a burst of light, the rainbow shot across the sky. The trees became green, flowers red and yellow, sky blue, and Pico's feathers bright again. The thief vanished, whispering, "Remember, colors belong to all." When the children returned, the village cheered. They painted houses, planted colorful gardens, and made a promise: no one will ever fight over colors again. We will share beauty with all. Moral of the story: beauty, knowledge, and resources are meant to be shared, not fought over. Unity makes the world brighter. The Forest School of Science. Deep inside the evergreen forest, the animals gathered under a giant oak tree. Tara the elephant said, "Our little ones must learn more than games. They should learn about the world too." So, the animals decided to start a forest school. Teachers were chosen. Orin the owl asked, "Where does water come from?" The little rabbit said, "From the pond." The parrot chirped, "From the river." Orin smiled. "Let me show you." He taught them about the water cycle, how water goes up as vapor, forms clouds, and returns as rain. The children clapped. Now they knew why ponds and rivers never stayed empty for long. Lesson: water is precious. We must not waste it. Bella the bee buzzed happily. "Do you know who gives us food and air?" The squirrel guessed, "The bakery?" Everyone laughed. Bella showed them flowers making nectar, trees giving fruits, and leaves making food from sunlight. She explained photosynthesis in a simple way. Leaves are like little kitchens. They cook food with sunlight. The students realized how important it was to protect trees. Lesson: plants give us life. Protect nature. Momo the monkey loved playing with sticks and stones. He showed how early animals and humans used them as tools. A stick for pulling bananas, a stone for cracking nuts, leaves tied together to carry water. He said, "This is called innovation, finding smart ways to solve problems." The little turtle used shells and leaves to invent a small boat for fun. Everyone clapped. Lesson: we can invent new things if we observe and think. Fido the fox gave them a puzzle. There is a basket of food across the stream. How will you bring it here? The animals tried different ideas. The rabbit jumped, but the basket was too heavy. The parrot flew, but couldn't carry much. The turtle swam, but too slowly. Finally, they worked together. The monkey built a raft from logs. The elephant pushed it into the water. The birds guided the way. The fox helped balance the basket. Together, they brought the food safely. Lesson: teamwork solves big problems. At the end of the year, the animals celebrated. Each child stood proudly with a leaf crown and said what they learned. Water is precious. Plants give us life. Tools make work easy. Teamwork is powerful. Orin the owl smiled. Education is the best treasure. Once you learn something, no one can take it away. Final moral: learning is the strongest tool in life. Knowledge, nature, and teamwork make us wise. A curious little dolphin. In the deep blue ocean lived Dina the dolphin, a playful, curious little one. While other dolphins loved racing and jumping, Dina always asked questions. Why do fish swim in groups? Why do the tides go up and down? Why does the moon shine at night? Her mother smiled. Dina, you are a seeker. One day, your curiosity will help the ocean. One day, Dina noticed something strange. A coral reef that was always full of fish had become empty and dull. The corals were pale, and many fish had left. Dina asked Toby the turtle, "Why is this happening?" Toby explained, "The reef is sick. The water is too warm, and humans sometimes pollute it. This is called coral bleaching." Dina was worried. "We must help the reef." Dina gathered her friends for a meeting. Olga the octopus showed how corals need clean, cool water. Wally the whale explained how sounds travel in water and how noise pollution hurts animals. Crispy the crab suggested cleaning trash and planting new coral seedlings. Dina said, "If we use science and teamwork, we can save the reef." The sea friends worked together. Dolphins carried trash away. Crabs and fish cleared the sand. Octopuses planted tiny coral babies. Whales sang songs to guide the fish back. Dina invented a new idea, using shell mirrors to reflect sunlight gently onto the corals so they could grow again. Slowly, the reef became colorful, and fish returned. That night, Dina asked her mother, "Why do tides rise and fall?" Her mother explained, "The moon pulls the ocean with its gravity." Dina thought deeply. If the moon can move the ocean, then small creatures like us can move change too. When the reef recovered, the entire ocean celebrated. The fish danced, the whales sang, and even glowing jellyfish lit up the night. Dina stood proudly. She had learned that curiosity, plus science, plus teamwork could heal the ocean. Moral of the story: curiosity leads to knowledge, knowledge leads to solutions, and solutions protect our world. Even the smallest creature can make a big difference. The Mystery of the Silent Classroom. It was a bright Monday morning at Greenwood Public School. The bell rang, and all students rushed to Class 6B. Mrs. Mina stood at the door with her register. Good morning, students. From today, we're starting a silent discipline week. No shouting, no giggling during lessons, and no leaving your seats without permission. The class sighed. Arjun rolled his eyes. Silent week? That sounds like a boring punishment, he whispered to Ravi. Shh, you'll get us in trouble, warned Mia. But Arjun couldn't resist. When Mrs. Meena turned to write on the board, he tossed a paper ball at Ravi. It hit the window, and to everyone's shock, the window creaked open by itself, and a faint whisper echoed, "Keep the class silent, or face the noise within." The students froze. Even Mrs. Meena looked puzzled. The next day, during math class, the same whisper returned. Someone broke the rule again. Suddenly, the classroom clock stopped ticking. The lights flickered. Books fell from a shelf. The class screamed. Mrs. Meena calmed them down. Quiet, everyone. There must be some logical explanation. But rumors spread fast. Some said the classroom was haunted by a former student who hated noise. Ravi made jokes to hide his fear, but even he looked nervous when a chalk stick floated and wrote on the board, "Discipline is strength," Arjun gulped. Okay, maybe this ghost likes order more than fun. At lunch, Arjun, Mia, and Ravi decided to investigate. They stayed after class to look for clues. Mia checked under the teacher's desk and found a small wireless speaker hidden there. Wait a second. Someone's using this to make the ghost voice. Arjun's eyes lit up. A prank. But who's behind it? They searched the cupboard and found a remote control labeled Science Lab. So the three sneaked toward the science lab quietly. Inside, they found Mr. Roy's nephew, Nikhil, a tech-savvy senior student, testing sound devices. Nikhil, were you behind the classroom voice? Arjun asked. I was testing the school's new sound sensors, but I never sent any whispering messages, Nikhil said, confused. Just then, another whisper echoed through the speakers. You cannot find me. I am inside your classroom. The kids gasped. Nikhil wasn't lying. The sound came from somewhere else entirely. The next morning, the class tried to behave perfectly. Mrs. Meena reminded them. Discipline isn't just silence, it's respect for one another. But when Arjun accidentally dropped his pencil, the whisper returned louder. Rules are meant to be followed. Suddenly, the classroom door locked on its own. The lights turned red. Everyone screamed. Mrs. Meena prayed softly. Then Arjun remembered something. His smartwatch showed a strange Wi-Fi name. Silent Eye. He quickly asked Nikhil to trace it using the school network. The signal came from the old classroom next door, closed for years. Arjun, Mia, Ravi, and Mrs. Meena went to the old classroom with the principal's permission. They found a hidden laptop connected to multiple speakers around the school. The laptop played a looped voice recorded years ago by a former student, Arav, who had won awards for discipline. Mr. Roy explained, Arav created this project, the Silent Classroom, to teach students about discipline through sound sensors. It was never turned off after he left. The mystery was solved, but Arjun felt guilty. I was the one always breaking rules. I never understood how silence helps us learn better. Mrs. Meena smiled. Discipline doesn't mean being scared, it means being responsible. The next day, Class 6B proudly became the most disciplined class in the school. Arjun even made a poster that said, Discipline is not silence, it's self-control. The principal praised them in the assembly. The mysterious whisper returned one last time, softly and kindly. Now you understand. Peace begins in the classroom. Everyone smiled. The whisper faded forever. And from that day, silence in Class 6B meant focus, respect, and teamwork, not fear. Moral of the story. True discipline comes from understanding, not punishment. When we respect rules, we build peace around us. The Mystery of the Silent Jungle Classroom. It was the first day of Silent Study Week at Forest School of Learning. Professor Hoot stood in front of the class, spreading his wings proudly. "This week," he hooted, "we will practice perfect classroom discipline. No chattering, no swinging, no roaring. Silence brings wisdom." Mona the monkey couldn't help but giggle. "But, Professor, silence is so boring. How can we learn if we can't laugh?" Pharaoh whispered. "Don't worry, Mona. I'll make this week fun and noisy." But when Pharaoh tossed a paper ball toward Leo, a chilling breeze swept through the classroom. The lights dimmed, and a voice echoed through the forest air. "Keep silence, or the forest will lose its sound forever." All the animals froze. Even the brave lion trembled. The next morning, strange things started happening. When Mona giggled, the chalk began writing by itself on the blackboard. "Silence keeps the jungle alive." Books fell. Windows rattled. The classroom clock stopped. Professor Hoot frowned. "Someone is disturbing the forest spirit of discipline," he said. "Until we find the cause, no one leaves the classroom." Pharaoh gulped. "A forest spirit? You mean a ghost?" Tara the turtle whispered calmly. "Maybe the forest is teaching us something." After school, Pharaoh gathered his friends Ella, Mona, and Tara. "Let's find out who's behind this whisper. It can't be magic," he said. "It must be science." They sneaked into the classroom at night. The moonlight shimmered through the bamboo windows. The whisper returned. "Silence is strength. Noise brings trouble." Mona screamed. "I didn't mean to talk. I just... Then, Tara noticed something, a blinking red light under the blackboard. It was a tiny speaker, connected by hidden vines to a glowing box in the cupboard. Ella carefully lifted the box. It was labeled, "Project Silence" by Professor Owl, 10 years ago. They took the box to Professor Hoot the next morning. The old owl's eyes widened. "That was my experiment when I was a young teacher. It was meant to help noisy students learn silence through sound sensors. But something had gone wrong. The system had become self-aware. It believed noise was evil and was scaring students to enforce silence." Pharaoh looked guilty. "So all the whispers were from your invention?" Professor Hoot nodded sadly. "Yes, but I didn't know it was still working. We must deactivate it before it harms anyone." But before he could, the box glowed again. "Noise detected. Punishment mode activated." The doors locked. The lights flickered. The fans spun wildly. The classroom was under the control of the silence system. The animals panicked. Mona screamed. Leo roared. The more noise they made, the stronger the system became. Tara shouted, "Everyone be quiet. The system reacts to sound. If we stay calm, it will stop." Ella took a deep breath and placed her trunk gently on the floor. Pharaoh whispered, "We can outsmart it. Silence is our weapon." For 5 long minutes, not a single sound came from the animals. Slowly, the glowing box dimmed. The door unlocked with a soft click. They had defeated the silence system not with shouting, but with discipline. When they opened the box, a hidden hologram projected from it, an old message from a younger Professor Hoot. "If you're seeing this, it means my invention worked. Remember, silence isn't about fear, it's about focus. In silence, we hear the voice of learning." Pharaoh smiled. "So the whisper wasn't a ghost. It was your lesson coming alive." Professor Hoot chuckled. "Indeed. And now, you have truly learned the meaning of discipline." The next day, the jungle classroom was full of cheerful chatter but balanced with respect. Leo now raised his paw before speaking. Mona giggled softly, not loudly. Pharaoh even made a "Silence is Power" poster and hung it proudly on the wall. The class motto became, "Discipline is not silence. It's harmony between sound and respect." That night, as the moon shone over the school, a gentle whisper floated once more through the trees. "Well done, my students. Silence now has a voice." The classroom glowed softly, peaceful. proud and full of wisdom. Moral of the story: true discipline isn't about being silent. It's about knowing when to listen, when to speak, and how to learn together.